And they were rich, famous, and wildly successful, but also deeply disliked. In an era obsessed with glamour, these 5 celebrities stood out for all the wrong reasons. From public controversies to personal grudges, their names became synonymous with scandal. Here are the top 5 most hated stars of old Hollywood. At number 5, Judy Garland. Judy Garland dazzled audiences with her unforgettable voice and emotional performances in classics like The Wizard of Oz and A Star is Born. But behind the scenes, Garland's life was filled with turmoil as she struggled with addiction, mental health issues, and the pressures of child stardom. Her frequent lateness and unpredictable behavior on set frustrated directors and co-stars, earning her a reputation for being difficult to work with. Studio executives pushed her relentlessly, leading to exhaustion and further personal struggles. The press was often unkind, focusing on her troubles rather than her immense talent. An unbelievable fact: despite her struggles, Garland became the youngest recipient of the Cecil B. DeMille Award at just 39. She continued to perform until her untimely death in 1969 at age 47. Judy Garland's story is a heartbreaking reminder of the high price of fame, but her legacy as one of Hollywood's greatest entertainers endures. At number 4, Orson Wells. Orson Wells was a genius director and actor, best known for creating Citizen Kane, often called the greatest film ever made. However, his bold personality and refusal to play by Hollywood's rules made him a controversial figure. Wells clashed with studio executives, often taking creative control and ignoring budgets, which led to many of his projects being taken away or edited without his consent.
I think I'm the man to do it.
His arrogance and stubbornness earned him as many enemies as admirers in the industry. The press sometimes painted him as a troublemaker who couldn't finish what he started. An unbelievable fact: Wells was only 25 when he made Citizen Kane, astonishing the world with his talent and ambition. Despite his struggles, he continued to innovate in film, radio, and theater. Orson Welles died in 1985, remembered as both a visionary and a rebel who changed Hollywood forever. At number 3, Katherine Hepburn. Katherine Hepburn was celebrated for her fierce independence and sharp intelligence, but her refusal to conform to Hollywood's expectations made her a target for criticism early in her career. She wore trousers, spoke her mind, and rejected the glamorous image expected of leading ladies, which led to her being labeled box office poison in the late 1930s. Hepburn's strong will often clashed with studio executives and co-stars, and she was known for walking out on projects if she didn't agree with the direction. The press sometimes portrayed her as cold and difficult, and audiences were divided over her unconventional style. An unbelievable fact: despite the backlash, Hepburn went on to win a record 4 Academy Awards for Best Actress. She eventually became a beloved icon, but her journey was filled with obstacles and public disapproval. Katherine Hepburn passed away in 2003, leaving behind a legacy of trailblazing roles and unapologetic individuality. At number 2, Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin was one of the most influential figures in film history, creating the beloved tramp character and starring in classics like City Lights and Modern Times. However, Chaplin's outspoken political views, multiple marriages, and scandals, including accusations of communist sympathies, made him a controversial figure in America. He was investigated by the FBI and faced public backlash during the Red Scare, eventually being barred from re-entering the United States in 1952. The press often focused on his personal life and legal troubles, overshadowing his cinematic achievements. An unbelievable fact: Chaplin received a 12-minute standing ovation at the Oscars in 1972 when he returned to the U.S. after 20 years in exile. Despite the controversies, Chaplin's genius as a filmmaker and performer remains unmatched. He died in 1977, remembered as both a comedy legend and a symbol of Hollywood's complicated relationship with fame and politics. At number 1, Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra was adored for his smooth voice and magnetic stage presence, but his personal life was often surrounded by controversy and scandal. Known for his fiery temper and headline-making feuds, Sinatra was rumored to have connections with organized crime, which fueled public suspicion and gossip. He clashed with journalists, sometimes banning them from his shows, and was notorious for holding grudges against those who crossed him. Sinatra's relationships with women, including high-profile marriages and affairs, kept him in the tabloids. Despite his immense talent, some in Hollywood found him difficult to work with due to his mood swings and demands. An unbelievable fact: Sinatra was once denied a Hollywood studio contract early in his career because executives thought his ears were too big. He overcame every obstacle, winning an Oscar for From Here to Eternity in 1954 and becoming a music and film legend. Frank Sinatra died in 1998, leaving behind a legacy of both brilliance and controversy.